Hey, if you're a manager over a support team, maybe you're a manager over a bunch of mechanics, over a fleet department, an HR department, an IT department, I don't know, whoever it could be, in any of those support roles. And maybe you're a single business owner with no employees. And you have a lot of information. You're going to ChatGPT, you're searching it, but sometimes it hallucinates or gives you incorrect answers, and you're like wanted a way to be able to control the sources, control the information that ChatGPT was looking over, so you knew when the answers came back to you that it was the correct information that you put into that chat. But you can. That's with NotebookLM, and I'm going to show you in this video how you can upload the documents, only the documents that you want, into your own chat bot, and then you can share it with your employees, with people that you manage, other team members, or yourself, so you can access it on your phone, on your computer, and you can go in there, ask questions just like you would ChatGPT, and NotebookLM is going to give you answers, up-to-date answers. But the best thing about, as a manager, as a boss, as a business owner, that it's only going to be about the questions or the information that you put into it. It's not going to be grabbing some random information off the internet. I'm going to show you how to do it in this video right now. So stick around, and please ask any questions, give a like, subscribe. Let's jump into the video. All right. So to kind of break it down for you with NotebookLM, this is a super powerful tool, and in my experience, I've had over 20 plus years in the IT industry, and a lot of different type of positions throughout the company, throughout multiple companies. And NotebookLM is so powerful. It's changed the way I've worked on a lot of things, and it's also changed on how the teams I manage, how they work, and also a lot of managers that I mentor and stuff. And so I really am excited to show you this tool today. And so to kind of start off, we're gonna, we're just here in Google, and ultimately what I'm gonna do is, I'm either just gonna pop over to Gemini, right there. Yeah, tell me to go to Gemini. So, my name's Johnny. I have this channel. I do everything IT related, a lot of tech related, focus on AI, automation, different things like that. So if you enjoy this content, please leave a like, do the subscribe thing, leave some comments, ask questions. I just want to help and teach people. Anyways, NotebookLM, you can get to this way. But first off, what I want to do, let's just pop over the AI mode and say, what is NotebookLM? So right here, NotebookLM is an AI-powered research and writing assistant developed by Google that acts as a personal study and a work partner. Unlike general AI chatbots, this pulls information from the internet. NotebookLM is grounded entirely in a specific source material you provide, ensuring all the answers are verifiable with citations. So the cool thing about this is, most people, when they think of AI, the first experience they have with it is a ChatGPT-like experience. Hey, I go to ChatGPT, boom, ask questions. It scours all that information, compiles it, it generates it in a nice format of all the sources it gets from the internet, and brings it back in a nice, like a chat-like experience. Similar to just like what we did. We just went to this AI model. If I was to go back, right here, just like this is what you think of. And when I asked it about, if I go back here in the histories, it's not even showing my history, but what is NotebookLM? That's exactly like I asked a question and it gave me an answer. And that's what you think about with AI and chat. But with NotebookLM, same type of experience, but the best thing about it is you can actually lock it down to the sources, basically the only material that you want it to do. It's only going to use that material to reference it, to answer those questions. So you can create this chat-like experience, similar like right here, but you can control what is feeding that model. You can control that. Like it says here, key features and functionality, source upload. Users can upload a variety of sources, including PDFs, Google Docs, Google Slides, text, website URLs, YouTube video links, different things like that. So then follow-up question, you're always like, okay, what does it cost? Don't want to watch this whole video, learn how to do this, and be like, hey, I don't understand how much it costs. And Google, they're very generous with their stuff. Right here, free version. Any Google account can use this basic version of NotebookLM for free, with a certain usage limit. Key features and limitations of free versions include, I'm not going to read all of it, but you have that there. You have a paid version. If you're on, Google One AI, that includes some stuff. If you're a workspace business, small business right here, talks about like if you're on a business standard plan, it's included there, and I highly recommend it. It's such a cool product. You can get to it through the web. You can download the app from the iOS or the Android store and get to it from your phone, and you have access to there. But to not get too far off, that's NotebookLM. Just think of it. You are essentially creating a chat-like experience that uses an AI model that's only looking at your data, and you can control the data it looks like. So it's not going to hallucinate. It's not going to come up with weird answers. It's only looking at what you feed it. And that's the best part about it. So let's jump right in. Ultimately, this is what NotebookLM is. If I was trying to get to NotebookLM, there's a couple ways. I can hit new tab, type NotebookLM. I can, Google search it, but I can go notebooklm.google.com. That's going to take me there. Similar, if you want to go to the waffle menu, click that right up there. Come down here, I believe, scroll to the bottom, NotebookLM. It's going to get you that same spot. Just going to go ahead and delete that little notebook. So fresh slate, this is what you're going to see. If you get to this point and you're following along, you're writing NotebookLM. All right. So in this, I'm going to kind of demonstrate how we're going to start to use this. I like to pose it with a question. Our first question is, we want to build this chat-like experience, and we want to give it to our, let's just say if I was I was a manager over mechanics in a fleet department. Or, it could be a maintenance crew, anything like that. And I will, we're over all this equipment, things like that. And we want to be able to give my mechanics or facility people, anyone that I manage over, give them quick access so that they can look up information about the manuals that they support. Like, for example, this is one thing I do. I have a small Honda CR F110, and I have an owner's manual. When I got this would be the same thing as like if I, had a whole bunch of equipment, and you could take a lot of these manuals. Let's say if I was over a bunch of mechanics at a bike shop, and we support a lot of different types of equipment, of dirt bikes, and they all have their manuals with them and stuff. And so you have all these manuals. So you could essentially take this manual and make it into this chat-like experience. What that looks like is, if I'm in NotebookLM, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say create no notebook. Okay. From that, it's going to ask you to upload your source. Now, you could just close it out, but you want to upload a source. Like these sources of what they're, just like here, sources let NotebookLM base its response on the information that matters most. You can upload a file. These are the supported file types that you can do: PDF, text, Markdown, audio. That is also a cool thing I've done before, is recorded a voice note on my phone and then save the audio up here. It basically transcribes it. Pretty cool. You can connect it to a Google Drive account, a website, a YouTube video like this one, copy text. You can add all that. Now, with this, depending on the plan you're on, you get 50 sources, meaning if I was over a bunch of mechanics, a mechanic shop, a bike shop, that means I could only upload 50 owner's manuals and not anymore into here. So if you get on higher plans, you can do that. Otherwise, you'd have to create separate notebooks. Now, in order to do this, at owner's manual, select it, and it's going to upload it. So now, as you can see here, it's spinning And it's going over all the document, and I'm trying to think what they call it, but it's kind of like vectorizing it and indexing it, bringing it into Spanner, and so you can see right here, Honda CRF Owner's Manual and Service. So it just essentially created this right here. Now, if I wanted to, I could upload another source. Let's see if I can find another. All right, so found the Yamaha Owner's Manual right there, because I have a 450 as well. We're going to upload it just to show that you could have multiple. I'm a bike shop. My mechanics, these are two of the bikes that we service. Now you can see there's a lot of different things that you can do right here, but we're not so interested in the studio right now. What I'm showing you is you have your two sources that you want to search from. Now, what this will do for you is if you have this notebook, let's say I'm going to rename it right here and say Owner's Manuals. So I have my owner's manuals, and what this allows is if I'm in here, I can say, hey, I just got this. I need to change the oil on my YZ450. What type of oil do I need to use? Just like something I would put in there. And I technically probably could ask Gemini, and it would go out and find, it might ask like, what is my specific year or anything like that. But I went ahead and, I just wanted to look at these sources. Now it came back and it says right here, the required oil specified for your YZ450 is based off this information detailed in this source. If I hover over this, it's actually showing me the source, like where it got that. If you see down there, it actually says 450 service manual, which is the same over there. So that is another cool thing, is it can actually show where it's getting these answers. So right here it says you should use Yamaha lube as recommended brand. Recommended engine oil should be met with the following requirements. Recommended grade, just a lot of different things like that. So essentially, I was able to ask a question, and I didn't have to look through the manual. I can actually hover over to these sources to make sure and actually see where it was at. I believe if I click on that source, it'll actually open up that manual, go to that exact page to highlight where it was from. Now, if you ask me, that's pretty powerful. I can do the same thing with this right there, like CRF 110 spark plug type. So it's being smart enough that it will start to recognize and recommend questions that you might ask. And you can ask it just like you would anything on ChatGPT, anything like that. See, and it tells you right there, and it's only drawing from these sources in the owner's manual. Same thing over here. I can hover over it. I see the source right there. That's pretty powerful. So now you could actually see that you could essentially give this to everyone in all your mechanics, or anybody like in your bike shop. If they had questions or something like that, giving this to your employees, they can access it from their phone. They could ask a question, or mechanics like, hey, what type of oil? They can quickly look up that information and not have to go find an owner's manual, or actually open up the PDF of the owner's manual. As you can see, what I have over here, that's 185 questions, and try to scroll down all the way through to find that information. That saves them so much time. And so that's one type of thing that I wanted to show you. The next type, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger right here. So I'm going to go back to my original notebook. So we made the owner's manual. Now let's say maybe I want to give my employees in my business access to stuff. They're always calling and ask questions, and maybe I'm a small team, small business owner. They're calling and asking me questions, and just being able to answer them. I'm not always available. Small business, we run lean and mean, and maybe I don't have a lot of time. And so there's a bunch of like FAQ questions, like that I might get asked. So let's go like this. Let's go to back to, actually, we're going to go to Gemini. Let's go to our Gemini right here. And we're just going to, we're using AI. I'm going to use WhisperFlow, which is an app that allows me to talk, and it's going to write the text out and say, create me an FAQ page that we can use for an example if I was in HR department of frequently asked questions that employees might ask, call in to ask an HR department. Can you create up one of those documents that's like that I can export to a Google Sheet? So what better way to do this? So to show like, hey, I got some HR documents. Say, look, hey, if you look here, they got payroll compensation, benefits and insurance, time off, leave attendance, training development, a lot of different things right here. Let's see. So like generic one of these, let's just go with the benefits questions. I could see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit export to sheet, sheets. And what the cool part is that is, I'm going to go ahead and open it, is it just created this for me, the sheet. Now, what I would do in your place is I just quickly spin this up, but kind of what I taught the manager that I helped the last time is told his people like, hey, go and find those FAQs. What are those frequently asked questions? Get the answers, write them down, and be very descriptive right here. So if we look at some of these questions, like when am I eligible for benefits? Eligibility for medical, dental, and vision benefits begins the first day of the month following 30 days of continuous employment. Okay. But the cool thing is you could get more personalized with this answer. This might be a generic answer, but you can get more personalized with this information right here. So that's that FAQ. Let's go right here and say payroll compensation. We're going to export that sheet as well. Creates that. Boom. Okay. Create me an FAQ page right there. When is payday? Payday is every Friday. So let's say we got here, we could keep going. Like you could have all your company's SOPs, FAQs, standard operating procedures, things in your general operations manual, just different things like that. That's either for maybe your employees, team, stuff. And what I could do is I would come right here and I'd create a new notebook because say, hey, I'm going to give this stuff out. I want my employees to be looking up here, coming for answers when they can't get a hold of me. And like I said, you can have up to 50 sources. Since these are Google Sheets that I created, they're saved in my Drive, in my Google Drive. And so I'm just going to click. And what it's doing is it has looked at both of these FAQs. And if we go back and look here and see, let's see, how do I enroll in 401k? I'm not going to ask it that way, but I might say, how do I start to get 401k? Maybe that's a question right there. Let's see what it comes back with. Now, the answer we're looking for is enrollment processes through our retirement plan provider. You can sign up anytime after your initial 90 days. Please contact HR provider's website and email enrollment code. If I go back here, look at the answer. The enrollment process handled through exact same. I can click right there. I can actually see the question. I can see where it came from. How cool is that? But let's say, what if we go back and we're like, oh, hey, like, how do I get my 401k? And someone's like, well, I don't know how to contact HR. There's no phone number. Well, let's go ahead and enter a phone number. 123-435-8888. Right there. Let's say, ask for check. Cool. I just updated this. Now, if I come back here, if I were to just ask this again, let's say, who do I talk to about 401k? Let's see if it finds, because remember, I put Chuck there. Now, it did not find anything there. And the reason is because you would say, like, hey, like, ask for Chuck. Be like, to talk to about 401k. Maybe I'm adding more detail, but I'm like, why did it not find it? The reason is because these don't update automatically. So if I click right here, I can say click sync with Google Drive. I might click sync and it's resyncing because it's showing you right here, and then look right there, ask for Chuck. Now it has that. And so that's one gotcha you got to remember to do. You got to, if you're updating these sheets or these sources, they get updated, you got to go in there and, check for refreshes. And so now, if I was to go back and be like, I need help with my 401k. What do I do? Let's see what it gets there. Didn't ask for a person. Specifically, you should ask for Chuck to talk about your 401k. You can reach him at this number right there. So we updated it, and you can see the question you asked. You can see that's a question that might be asked by one of your employees or that work for you, very, very easily. And so, that was just a couple good ways of showing you, how you could put this information, anything out there. Like I said, I use FAQ page. We use manuals as examples, but any sources you can put in there. And it's giving a chat-like experience. Like I said, this can be on a phone. I'll show you how to put this on a website. That can just truly be a game changer and help get that out there to your employees so that they can get the answer. So when they can't talk to you or get a hold of anybody, they still can find answers to their questions. And it's based off your company, the correct information and information you can control. And that's important. All right. So now that we got this notebook created, we want to share it with people. We want to give access to our team. Now I am logged into two different accounts. I have on the left account, I'm on the left side of my screen. This is an employee that worked at my company, you would say, an employee account. And then this is my account. So I'm on a Google Workspace account. In order to share this with somebody, like I'm going to show this with this employee over here. If I click on this Alan Hacking, that person's email, which is this person on the left, I can add them here. Now, because I'm on a Google Workspace account, I can't share these notebooks publicly, but you can if you're on a non-Google Workspace, a non-business Google account, just regular Gmail account. If you have that, you can come in here. You can. There's a share button that you can share with individual people, or you could actually share for public access. So that's one thing to know. So I can do a couple things here. I could give him editor access. So when he accesses this notebook, he sees all this stuff here. He can add sources, do all those things. Or if it's my team or a team member or an employee of my company, I'm just going to want to do viewer. And what that's going to do is it's going to limit what they can do, and they can usually only just ask questions. So I'm going to go ahead and send that notebook shared successfully. Now, if I'm on this side as the employee, I'm going to come over here to NotebookLM. I don't see anything off the bat shared with me. I should get an email about it, but that link is a cool thing because you could put it on a button on your website, put a button, and that's the link that it goes to. You could send it through an email out to everybody. So if you were to look here, if I go ahead and paste that link, it brings me right to this page. It shows that it's shared right here. Look, I can't add any sources. I can't expand. I can expand right here, but there's no studio outputs for me, which I'm not covering in this video. If you'd like to learn more about that, leave a comment on how to use some of the studio stuff. Really cool things. Anyways, come right here, and now we're just the same. But this is all I can do. But as an employee, as someone that comes in, maybe I'm a person that takes calls, a support person, and I answer questions. Maybe an employee that I can go to the company intranet, click on a button that takes me right here, and then I'm able to ask questions. Maybe that's what I do. And so if I was an employee, I could come here, say, hey, do I get started with 401k? Just like we did before. I can ask those questions. It's going to look only at those sources. Right here, to begin the process, call this number. HR will provide you the website. You should ask for Chuck. Chuck's got the answers. But so pretty cool there. Or on a flip side, if you think about like, okay, well, employees, they like to call and talk to somebody in HR. They like to call and talk to somebody in IT. No problem. Give this NotebookLM access to your employees that are taking the calls. And same thing, someone calls in, says, hey, I'll start with my 401k, or I'm a new employee. When is payday? I get that call, that question on the phone. And so me as an employee that's helping them, I want to respond. I want to give them the correct answer. I type in that question into my little notebook LM thing here, right? It's going to scour. Look, if holiday falls on the Friday, payday is typically on Thursday before. But paydays are every other Friday. Boom. Give them that answer. Employee's happy. Off. Me as an employee, knowing that I have the resources provided to me, that I'm giving the correct answer, that what it's doing is it allows me to answer calls faster, which saves time. The employee's able to get that, have a better experience overall. And that's all just because you as a manager are able to control the sources that you put in, so that you know that the answers to the questions that your employees are asking or looking for are what you want. But it's also provided in a very AI-like experience, a very easy experience. Before, in the past, you'd have to create an FAQ page and post it on the website, on the intranet, and they'd have to go and maybe there's a lot of FAQs, a lot of questions, and it's 3 or 4 pages long, and it just gets too hard. But things like this can help speed those things up, and I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please, I just want to help out. And if you're struggling with this, or would like to see more videos or content around this, or if this was too long, just let me know. I really just want to help people, and I love teaching people about these concepts. So there you have it. If you followed along, I just showed you how to create 2 different notebook LMs that can be useful. One example, we uploaded 2 PDF owner's manuals of dirt bikes, so that if you were over a team of mechanics, or you were a mechanic yourself, maybe you're a one-man band, but you just want all that information there because you want to be able to access it from your phone and search and give answers to your questions. We showed how to do that in NotebookLM, to upload those and to ask those questions. We also then used AI to create some generic FAQs and on different topics, mainly with HR. And we created that in Google Sheet. We imported it into new NotebookLM so you could ask questions. We showcased how you could add additional info to the answers to those questions to make them more personal, and resync them so they're updated in NotebookLM. And then finally, after that, we showed how you could take a NotebookLM, share it with somebody else in your company, so that person could have access to it. They wouldn't be able to change anything, but they could get the answers to the questions that they need. And ultimately, there are so many more benefits that NotebookLM could do for you. But ultimately, I just wanted to showcase you that hopefully this helps, that you could take this concept. It can save you time. It can help you out with your team to help save them time to basically essentially get all your documents into one place, so that when all these people start asking questions or trying to understand concepts or what to do, they have a source of truth, one notebook or two notebooks that they'll go to, and that's going to answer the questions. You control the narrative, you can control the sources. And it's just a huge benefit to them and a time savings. And so, I hope this video was helpful. Please, if it was, give me a thumbs up, but subscribe if you'd like some more stuff, make comments. I'm just here to help. Thanks, guys.